positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to Imperfect Fathers Podcast.
What up?
How you, man? Let's get it.
Sir.
Back at it.
Back at it again.
Oh, only because we still breathing, baby. That's the only reason we're doing it.
Yes, sir.
Right there. Now, see, you said two hands.
That's two hands right there.
Nah.
Shout out. Hey, you're going to look kind of crazy right now. Go ahead.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it on camera, bro. No, you're not getting me on camera. Yo, listen, man. Positive energy and
good vibrations.
Listen, this is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and
your boy JP, the Imperfect Husband.
And this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. What's good, my boy?
Chilling, baby.
How you, man?
Chilling, big baby, chilling.
You ready? You ready for another dope episode?
Yes, we are.
All right, man. So, as always, we're gonna dive into it. But before we dive into it, we gotta do our due diligence and talk to the perfect father. You know what I mean? Get him his respect and all those things.
Perfect father's gonna understand this. Comment, like, subscribe.
Yes, indeed. Please do that. We appreciate it. And you guys have been definitely stepping the game up. Our numbers are going up. But it's crazy because you guys are actually watching the podcast through, but you just won't hit the button. For whatever reason, you're enjoying the content. Just hit the button, okay?
Just subscribe.
That's it. You already part of the squad. You've been watching.
You're
now for
already
weeks.
Part of the Imperfect family.
That's
just
it.
subscribe.
Just make it official.
Help us out.
Make it official. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
So now we got that out the way. So I'm taking my hat off because my man said he gonna call my mom's on me. And tell her, like, I'm not taking my hat off at the dinner table. I'm not taking my hat off during the prayers. So I can't have my man snitching on me and calling my moms and telling them on me. So I got to...
The imperfect gentleman got to be taught how to be a damn gentleman sometimes.
Well, that's why I'm imperfect. Like, it fits the name, right? Yo, man, gracious and eternal Father, thank you for an opportunity just to be ourselves. Man, thank you for an opportunity for us just to be in this space to do what we love to do it for the people we love to do it for. And we are grateful, God. Right now, we ask you to continue to give us the grace and the mercy that you've given us to go across these airwaves, that we may be something to entertain somebody, and also encourage them to be the best version of themselves, God, for not just who they are, but their legacy tomorrow. So right now, God, we ask you to do these things in the matched name of the Most High. We do pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Indeed. You know what I mean? Back to work.
Yes, sir.
So this week on the docket, bro, I got a few things. But you know, last week we spoke about it, and I'm gonna use this podcast as an update. I'm 7 days in to my 75 hard. You know what I mean?
What was it? You posted 66 today? 65?
Yeah. It's going down, kid. It's going down. And the crazy part is I'm almost at the end of the it hurting phase. Like I'm getting to the swing of, oh, this is a part of my everyday now. Before I was like dragging. The first week, like this past week, bro, by like Wednesday, I hit that wall. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do nothing. But shout out to one of my followers, yo. I forgot his name at the moment, but he inspired me and got me out of my bed.
I saw that.
Bro, he hit me. He was like, yo, I'm joining you, RJ, in this. And that was enough for me to, oh, snap. Somebody's taking this journey with me. I got to get out here. So it motivated and it juiced me up. So I want to give him a special shout out to that young king, man. Thank you so much for motivating me and keeping me inspired to keep going on, because that day was a hard day.
Had me inside the house doing push-ups too. I was like, yeah,
Let's go.
I'm going to get a day. One day.
You getting one of the 75?
One of the 75.
But nah, man. But as per the update though, it's going well. I'm doing good. My water intake is that's the hard part for me, bro. The water intake.
Gallon a day.
Yeah, bro. And I'm doing well. I haven't missed a day, and it's just a constant peeing, bro. At this age and stage of life, we can't retain water like we used to. It's a consistent pee now. Like every 15 to 20 minutes, I'm peeing, bro.
To the point that you peeing water. It's like clear.
Wondering like, yo, why am I peeing? Like, what am I wasting right now other than the water I just drank? Like, I'm not wasting. There's no yellow nothing coming out of me anymore. But shout out to the water, man. Shout out to making sure that the body's right. That's what I'm seeing too. My energy level is starting to change, and the consistency in my children that's doing this right now, it's really impressive for me. So once again, last week I shouted out to my kids and my wife for pushing me and keeping me going. Once again, week 2, shout out to them because they have definitely made it easier, and the transition is a lot smoother than what it would have been without them. And my wife is doing a phenomenal job with the eats because first week I was struggling. Like, I want to eat. I want my calories back. I want my calories back. But now, like, she's been making it to where I can have my food throughout the right times of the day, and I'm not eating at the wrong times of the day. So, shout out to her for that, man, and shout out to the family, bro. So stay motivated with me, y'all. Stay with this journey with me right now. We in week 2 of the 75 hard challenge. Stay with me, and I appreciate y'all out there for keeping me motivated as well. But yo, the Olympic Games, bro. What you been watching the Olympics?
Little son.
You know what I mean?
Not as much as I would want to, but yeah. Little son.
Right. I've been catching it as much as I possibly can too. And I wanted to give a special shout out to, man, Sha'Carri Richardson, man.
Okay.
Yo, shout out to that girl, bro. She is a true sign of resilience and is doing you no matter what nobody say. Yeah, they gave her so much flack 2 years ago, bro, about her smoking weed when her mother passed away. I don't know if you remember that. Like, they gave her all kinds of hell about her using weed at the time. Yo, her mother passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had to do something to cope. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it was right or wrong. Me as a partaker, I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? But, all right, what have you. But for her to come back and not allow that to dim her light, to distract her from her actual goal, and for her to come back and not only qualify for the Olympics, but kill and set new records.
She could have went on a spiral of self-destruction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of all the commotion that was caused over her grief.
Right, bro. And who are we to tell someone how to grieve, bro? Where do we get off with that shit? Telling someone how they should mourn someone that they've lost.
It's the human instinct to play God. To think they're above everybody.
Did you hear what you said? The human instinct to play God. That's a dangerous instinct. Golly. Like, and like it really kind of like peeves me off because it's like we all want the same courtesy when it's our turn. Right? God forbid, man, the day my mother closed her eyes, I'm gonna want that respect. I'm gonna want that consideration just to be and do whatever it takes for me to be okay. Like I told my best friend when his mom was going into was like getting her last days, and he was struggling with drug abuse, and I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, bro, like what I need you to do is kick this right now, because the inevitable is gonna happen, and when it does, no one can tell you nothing. I'm obviously not gonna let you just spiral out and go into a binge and just lose yourself. But no one's going to be able to tell you and do anything about mourning when I'm around because I'm going to give you that. But I can't allow you to sit here and put yourself in a hole before this even happens, before this even transpires. Like, your process of grieving is yours alone. And you deserve that. Everyone deserves that. And we have to understand it's going to be a day when our day is going to come. And how you treat someone when it's their turn will be what you experience. So we got to be careful with that.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago that when people judge, it's just a reflection of their soul.
Oof, yeah, that's a fact.
It's a reflection of their soul. They're trying to make themselves feel better by pointing at somebody else. So,
and the crazy part about that, Grandma always said, when you point a finger, you got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Pointing right back at you.
That's crazy.
Right back at you.
So every time you decide you're going to do that, you remember you just doing it to yourself times 4. And to be honest, bro, like I'm grateful now more than ever that she decided that she was going to like press through and continue to train, bro. She broke records, bro. That was crazy. I was so impressed because if you've been following the podcast for a while, when the whole situation happened, it was an episode we did. Me and other 3 guys, we did an episode as well. We talked about it. And it was like, yo, it's such a shame that while when you ascending to your level of whatever that your greatness is, on the way up there, people are gonna push you to it. Oh, you go, you got it, you're doing great. once you get there, you ascend, it's their everyday job to get you off of that pedestal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go for it. Once you get it, snatch your ass down. And that's what I was like, yo, you can't get high and you can't get low based upon people, bro. When you got a goal or a task that you need to get done, you cannot base it upon anyone else's like or dislike of you.
Yeah, we have to do better as people.
Yeah, oh yeah. As a whole, bro.
We have to do better.
Seriously. Because
one thing I've always noticed is that true leaders don't judge others.
Nah, they can't.
True leaders don't judge others.
They know what it takes. That's why now more than ever, even this podcast, I used to have a little internal drawback because I'm like, well, what if people don't accept me and all those things and they're going to talk about me and laugh at me and laugh and joke at the podcast. But then I said to myself, the only people who have time to criticize and poke fun and talk are the ones who ain't doing nothing. Because the people who are actually doing the same thing knows what it takes just to get it started.
And you know what? Those are the ones that I want to listen.
Right.
Those that want to point the finger and want to laugh. Because you know what? Sooner or later, one of those phrases that we say, one of those quotes, or one of those messages that we're putting out there, that even though they're criticizing and pointing fingers, is sinking in.
Yeah.
And one day it'll just like, damn, that was real.
Well, what they say, man plants the seed, but God brings the increase.
That's right.
Our job is to plant the seed.
That's right.
We don't know when it's going to flourish. We don't know how it's going to open.
It's not our job.
It's not. And this is why they say a man's job, one of the man's jobs on earth is, and this is biblical too, he's supposed to plant a tree. And if you really understand planting a tree, you'll never see the tree. As our lifespan, we will never see that tree develop. But our duty as individuals on this plane, coming down on earth from a spiritual being to a physical being, is to plant something that's going to be here when we leave. This is why they say a man's supposed to write a book, have a seed, and plant a seed. That's our job. Because when you do that, you're leaving a mark that will be here when you leave.
I think the only thing I'm missing then is to write a book.
Yeah. Well, I wrote 3.
I've planted quite a few seeds. They're still growing out there. We're going to see.
Yeah.
Something will happen someday.
Whether we see it or not. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. The best part is that our job is just to plant the seed. And even so much as in my coaching, that's helped me a lot because I used to be an individual where I wanted to see the results. I wanted to see that what I'm doing is helping out. It was, for I guess, for my vanity metrics, I guess, for my own selfish needs. I wanted to see if it's working or not and all those things. Yeah. But I realized it's like, I'm not going to always be able to see what the outcome is to the seed that I planted. And it's not my job to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not granted 100,000 years on this earth, even though our kids do believe that we've been here that long.
They believe we were born that old.
It's crazy. They really believe that, yo. But it's our job to plant the seed. And for that, like, I'm grateful because now I have more joy in creating and leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when I teach and impart into my children, now this new thing we have is that not only is the 75 Hard a new introduction into our home, is that on Sunday mornings, it's my turn to impart to my family. Right? If I'm gonna coach and lead other men and other people out, why am I not doing that in my home? Right? Like if I'm a priest and the elder of my house, why am I not giving the word to my house? Right? Why am I not taking what I'm getting myself in my scriptural time and not referring that back to the people that I'm leading? Right? It is my job to do that. So therefore, that's why I've said to myself, I'm not going to just be that outside of my house. I'm going to be that in my home as well. Because you can't be somebody else that you're not being to your home first.
Yeah, one thing I learned not so long ago is that grabbing a Bible and having that scripture time with your kids, where you just find a random scripture, and read through it, and have a conversation about it.
Yeah, open their brains up to it.
It brings some meaningful conversation into the home.
Good job. Meaningful.
And the time that's spent there is valued at a whole other level. Yeah. Because after that's done, you see how your kids start looking at it in a different light. Start looking at the Bible in a different light.
Yes, and you. Yeah.
One thing that I try to do on a regular is have Bible time in the car. My car time is my time for reflection, my time for knowledge, my time to read. Not read, but listen to audiobooks and right. to absorb.
Correct.
Right? So when I'm traveling with the kids in the car, I find different Bible studies or find videos on YouTube, 5 messages to make your family great, 5 scriptures to make your family greater. And I'll let it play when they're about to read the scripture. Tell them, grab your Bibles. Open up to the scripture he's mentioning. Let's read it with him. Once he's done reading or she's done reading that scripture, I pause it. What you guys think about that? How did that feel for you?
Right. What'd you get from that?
What did you get from it?
Right.
And it becomes a whole family conversation in the vehicle. Next thing you know, you're at your destination, and instead of you listening to a Cardi B or a or a Taylor Swift or something that's not going to help you and your family.
Something is not beneficial to them.
You just spent your whole car ride actually analyzing a verse of the Bible that will make them better people in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
So, yeah.
Nah, bro, like it's an important thing that we do, that we teach them to like not just be hearers of it, but actually doers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just, oh, well, I heard you say that. Because I base a lot of my life growing up, well, I heard that before. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, I heard that. But am I putting that to action? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that word?
I read that. Yeah, I read that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But are you walking that? Are you living that?
Walking it.
And like to anybody who knows me, is like I'm not one to play with my relationship with God. You dig what I'm saying? Like, if anybody's ever known me from day one, if there's one relationship I take seriously, me and his is off limits. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's like, whether you respect it or not, that's my livelihood. That's what got me here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what kept me these 40 years that I'm on this earth right now. Because if I know where my help comes from. So, like, I felt I'll be doing a disservice to my family if I don't give them that same word that I use to get me through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of the word, what would you feel if I said to you, as a regular man, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus? Is that worthy of you being shot?
Nah, bro. That situation, that
was a dope segue though, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was how you introduced that right there. Caught me off guard too. And kid you not, bro, that I saw when I saw that video, it brought out all sorts of emotions within me.
Yeah.
And the biggest, what bothers the most, bro, is that I have brothers, that people I consider brothers, that we grew up together, that are part of the force.
Yes, me too. My cousin, shout out to Scott.
And situations like that make them all look bad.
Yeah.
That is the hardest part, because these guys that I consider my brothers, these guys are some of the best, hardest working human beings out here that are out there doing it for a purpose. To protect and
serve, yes.
They're doing out their here job. Sacrificing their lives.
Yes, every day. Every day.
For a purpose.
Yes.
Shout out June. Shout out Jeffrey.
Yes. Shout out to you, Scott. And every other law enforcement that's a part of this family. Shout out to y'all, man.
It's just that situation, bro. And she called them. She called them.
That's what breaks my heart the most about this. So it's like, the reason I brought this up is because, what am I teaching my children, bro? What am I teaching my children about when it's time to call someone for protection and service? If you as an officer walked into that household
and you saw that this woman needs mental attention, why do you engage with this woman? Walk out.
Yeah.
Call somebody that can actually help.
Professionally know what they're doing. Right.
Why would you especially if you got a chip on your shoulder, why would you put yourself in that situation? It's like you going to the barbershop, the barber cutting you, and you expecting the barber to sew you because at one point, barbers were also doctors. You get what I'm saying?
Right. No,
if you're not trained,
nonsense.
If you're not trained to deal with people that are mentally unstable, and you walk into a situation where the person that you are about to help, because it's your duty to help,
right? That's your job,
is mentally unstable, then call for somebody that can deal with that situation and can actually de-escalate the situation, because you escalated extremely fast or for nothing.
Bro, and the woman said,
I'm sorry. Like,
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus was her response. And I don't even know what triggered that, but the fact that she said that, she might have felt something spiritually.
But then she apologized, bro.
Right. And
he still shot her.
And and when you mentioned that you would shoot her in the face, you said that out of your mouth. Meaning that, you're going to do this at some point.
No, knowing that your man's camera is recording, shows your sense of entitlement.
And the fact that, she called because she needed help. It's disturbing on so many levels because what do I...
this takes a nerve, bro. Like,
no. And I'm glad, Jose, because we need this to be said. I don't give a fuck. I will use my platform, and I don't care who don't like it. Come holler at me. I'm really with the smoke when it comes down to it. And I'm not saying this to invite nobody at me, but when it comes at me, put my feet down about something I believe in, I don't give a fuck who don't like it. Take it to the bank on that. And this one, I'm on that with a bit. Because it's like, check this out. What do I tell my homie's son right now, right? I got a homie that has a son right now who's autistic. Has behaviors, right? And he's now above age. He's 20 years old.
That is my biggest fear, brother.
What do I tell him? What does he tell him?
Always my biggest fear, brother.
What do I say to him? Because now he has to teach his son about right and wrong and the environment of the world. So now guess what? He had the episode. He can't call the police.
And truthfully, think about this. Even as a leader of your home, you could be the strongest king of the fucking castle. Your son has autism.
Yeah.
Which means that the way that he absorbs what you're telling him
is different.
Is not the same as you speaking to a child that doesn't.
No.
Or a kid that doesn't. Or a man that doesn't. Right? He's going to interpret what you're saying
process
at a whole different level.
Yeah, that process is different.
And truthfully, the reality is that no matter what you teach him, when he's out there on his own, his reaction is not going to be down to what you've taught him.
No, it's going to be what that impulse says. It's going to be whatever that impulse says to his brain.
That's where the problem is. Where you have officers out there that are not trained for situations like that and want to engage in situations like that. One, because they're either afraid of
seeing punks in school.
They're either afraid and join the force because they were bullied and they carry a chip,
and it was so
or something
scary.
Of that nature.
That pisses me off, bro.
They've joined the force because they don't like the people that live within that neighborhood and want to do something that they shouldn't, want to cause harm.
Bro, it's sickening because my thought process is this. You went in there and took a life for no justified reason. You had enough in you to not just fire that weapon, bro.
Put down that pot or shoot you in the face. What?
Word. And let's talk about the distance, right? Let's talk about the distance.
You were not at a distance for that to have caused
She couldn't cause any harm from where she was at compared to where he was. Even let's say she threw the pot of water, which the crazy part, she didn't even have it in her hand. If you go back and watch the video, she didn't even have it in her hand yet.
Yeah.
And there was no way she can cause that damage. And my thing is this. I can't teach my children to call police. Now I got to teach my children the police is here for cleanup. They don't protect you.
That's a dangerous situation to be in, right? Because teaching that to our children will put them in more harm than do any good.
But how do you can't teach your children now to call them, Jose? I can't say, baby girl, when something goes wrong, dial 911.
But we can't blame all for few.
No, we can't. But at the same time, are you willing to roll that dice, Jose? Are you willing to take that risk, right? You willing to roll that dice, bro?
Truthfully, I am.
I don't know, bro.
Truthfully, I am.
I don't know if I'm willing to
And listen, coming from a place where I used to get hemmed up on the wall just for the color of my skin. Truthfully.
Yeah. I know what time it is. You on the wrong block just because.
Came out the building just because. Get up on the wall.
Word. Empty the pockets. I know.
Turn the corner. Line up. Like what?
Yeah. For what?
And we tell this story truthfully. Living here now.
Yeah.
The people that live in our surrounding, we tell stories like that and they don't believe it.
Yeah,
because they didn't live it.
No.
We lived it.
Yeah.
So we know what it is now. Does that mean that every officer that I've encountered
no, by no means
is that type of officer?
No, and
so it comes also into the factor of if that's the case and that's how we'll go upon it, then we're gonna be judged because of the color of our skin. Yeah. So then we're playing tit for tat.
Right.
And how do we win at that point? How?
It's a scary game, bro.
How?
There is no winning.
The reality is, you know what we should be teaching our kids from a young age? If they're at one point in their life, they say that they want to become an officer, well, this is how you need to live. This is how you need to carry yourself and understand that changes need to be made within the system. Because that's the only way there's going to be a difference.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that from everything I've seen, most officers that go in with one intention of doing things better, of making things better.
Yeah.
But what happens? The blue wall of secrecy or the brotherhood of the blue brotherhood breaks them down and turns them into something else. So what ends up happening is that they go in with this intention.
Yeah.
Once again, not all. Not all go in with end up turning into something else, but a great majority of them end up turning into something else. They go in with one intention of being of changing the system, of making a better system for us. Yeah. But then they get put in these neighborhoods where if you're a person who's trying to make a difference and you get put in a neighborhood where no matter what you do and you're trying to do your best, there's nothing you could do that can be right. Mm-hmm. Then what?
You tied up. Your hands
then what?
Tied, yeah.
You're going to end up looking at your blue brothers and saying, you know what? You guys were right.
I got to tap in. Yeah.
You guys were right. So you end up becoming that.
And don't get me wrong, Jose. I've never, myself personally, Roderick J. Dockery, I have never come across a bad cop. All praise be the Most High. Every time I've had a situation, been arrested, locked up, in all those situations, I've always come in contact with cops that were on the right side of the law. Always handle me with care and respect, even being pulled. I was just pulled over yesterday, as a matter of fact, because I had to pee and I blew a stop sign. And the officer simply said, bro, you ran a stop sign. I said, obviously, honest officer, I know. I did that because I got to go to the bathroom. So if you don't mind, just give me my ticket and I'll be out your way. I'm literally around the corner. He seen my ID. He realized I wasn't lying. You know what? Go ahead, handle your business, bro. I'm not going to hold you.
I've been pulled over 3 times here in Florida, 4 times here in Florida. And the respect that I've gotten from officers, I had never gotten in New York. Ever. Whenever I was pulled over in the city of New York, I was either pulled out the car, had my car searched for nothing, me knowing I have nothing in my car.
Yeah.
Get arrested, something always. 25 tickets for tinted windows, this, that, and third, 1,000.
Yeah. They're trying to get they quote up on you. They want their quota.
So I dealt with a lot of officers that were extremely disrespectful, but same on the other side of the token, I dealt with a lot of officers that were nothing but respectful.
Yeah.
In New York.
Right.
Here, I have not met one disrespectful officer. One. I know there are some.
Yeah, no, they are.
I know there are some.
As we're talking about right now, they exist. But what I'm also trying to do, and I'm glad you're bringing up this point, is that not everyone is like that.
Not everyone is like that.
And shout out to the upstanding cops, bro. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say his name right now. Raymond Hicks, a decorated officer down here in South Florida that was literally railroaded by Broward and did him dirty. He has a story. I got his book at the house. I'm going to give it to you. Phenomenal story. I actually want to bring him on the platform so he can tell his side of the story, bro. Well-decorated officer, and all of a sudden they turned on him because he was doing well. He was doing right in the neighborhoods. So they then put fake charges on him, called him the kingpin of South Florida. The man never even touched drugs a day in his life. They put that on him, searched his home, violated his wife, his kids, and all those things, bro. And he's still fighting to get justice to this day.
Wow.
So shout out to Raymond Hicks, man. An individual who was an upstanding law officer that's fighting against the brotherhood of the law. Right? He's literally fighting to get his life back as we speak, and it's been over 20 years. His fight has been going on.
Wow! Shout out to him.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna also, like I said, I'm gonna bring his information to you because I really want you to get a chance to see that because his story is outrageous. I brought him to talk to the young boys at the school that I mentor at, and he came up there and did a phenomenal job. So shout out to you, Raymond Hicks, man. Phenomenal fellow.
Yeah, I follow quite a few podcasts of people who've been wrongfully incarcerated.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's sad to understand how the statistics how unbalanced the statistics behind that are, bro. Mm-hmm. It's extremely sad.
And that's why I say, man, it's so scary in this world that we in, where literally you can be blamed for something, or somebody can say you did something and it not even be the truth, and it take your livelihood away from you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, just because of a mention of something, or someone said something.
Or even just because of the political pressure behind the precinct, where they have to lock somebody up.
Somebody's head has to roll, yeah.
And they make everything point towards you, even when it wasn't you. And there's the evidence shows that it wasn't you, but the way that it was set up, it was bro.
I look at every individual that has been done wrong by the law. I pray that some sort of justice be served, because the people that we call upon to serve that justice is doing this dirty two ways, because you're taking the protection factor away from the mental stability of people. Because when somebody picks this phone up and says, "Let me call for help," you're in a dire situation. You're in a stressful situation. You want help. You're not thinking the help that you're gonna call is gonna come and take your life. Yo, Sonya did not think that her last day on earth was going to be her calling the police that's here to help her. So
and that last cry of sorry said it.
And that told you right then and there that she wasn't so far gone that she didn't know what was going on. She's begging for her life right now. So for everybody out there, don't let Sonya name just fizzle out. Say her name, y'all. Sonya Massey. Say her name. Let her name keep ringing out. Don't let this go unheard, man, because yes, even though that young man that did that is now incarcerated, he lost his job and all that, there's still others that need to understand that this is not going to keep going on. This is not going to keep happening with us sitting around and being quiet about it. So let's say her name a few more times out there, yo, and keep her name alive. So Sonya Massey, this is for you, baby girl.
And to the good officers that are out there, the ones that are out there actually trying to do good upon their society, don't stay quiet, man.
Yeah.
Don't stay quiet, because the problem is the silence.
Yeah.
The problem is the silence. Yeah. We understand in the situation that you guys are in. But one way or another, something needs to be done.
Yeah.
Something needs to be said. So that tomorrow, our kids can actually live off of a just system.
Yeah. Heavy topic, right? And like I said, let her name ring out. But to lighten it up a little bit, let me tell you what I saw on TikTok the other day. It's a story of this old lady, right? This old woman, old black grandmother. She got fed up. So she was out and about and going supermarket shopping and all that. And a white lady approached her and was doing something, and they got into an argument going back and forth. She pulls out an automatic rifle and just shoots.
Who pulled out?
The granny. Old 66-year-old grandmother pulls out a rifle and just lets off and unalives the lady, right, that she was in altercation with. And then someone else comes to the situation, she unalives them. Then the cops come, she tries to pull out, she gets into a shoot-off with the cop, unalives one of the cops. They finally...
Granny?
Yeah, Granny. They finally get her under wraps, right? And they ask her, they're interrogating her and asking her questions like, yo, man, why'd you do all this? She's like, yo, because I'm simply tired of them killing us for no reason. And I've had enough. So I thought she was going to unalive me, so I unalived her first. And then they did some background research. Come to find out, Grandma was a tactical force sniper back in the day. And she when they arrested her, she had on a full body bulletproof vest.
What?
Granny was outside ready for war. You hear me? And her reasoning was...
Where was this?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna send you TikTok.
Don't tell me Florida.
Nah, it wasn't down here because I'm about to go find it. I might go bail out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nah, I'm gonna send you TikTok. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna send you this. It was a story.
Holy
It was one of the stories on TikTok. So I thought that was pretty funny because I'm like, wow, if a grandmother that age and stage of her life was like, yo, forget this. I'm outside. Like, we gotta be careful. Grandma and granddaddy ain't playing.
Here with the blicky.
And vest up like 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Like, she's like 50 out here. She got the BP vest on. She is going to war.
She probably drove off with the song Many Men. Many.
Wish death called me.
What?
Yo, shout out to Granny, man. Shout out to the Granny.
Oh, no.
Yo, when I saw it on TikTok, bro, I thought that was pretty funny, so I had to bring that to the platform.
That is a good way to lighten this up.
Yeah, I had to. You know what I'm saying? I had to.
Yeah, get that topic get anybody in a heated situation, bro. Nah, for real.
And I've been sitting with that for a couple of days now, and it was aggravating me because I was just like, yo, this has to, like, at some point we can't teach our children to be violent towards them, but we also have to tell them to be careful. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, very thin line we're walking when it comes to it because, like I said it before, we roll on the dice. You make that phone call, you don't know who you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And
but we need to educate them on the situation. We can't just expect or think, or you know what? We can't just believe that all officers are the same.
No,
or teach them that all officers are the same, because one day they will need that protection, and then they'll be afraid to make that 911 call. And what are they gonna do? End up unaliving somebody, and then they go spend the rest of, because that's what they're gonna spend the rest of their life in jail.
Right.
So we need to be better at educating them and understanding that as there's bad cops, there's good cops. There's really good cops.
Yeah.
Just when you're in a situation that you see that this officer is being a straight ass. Understand the situation you're in is basically what I'm saying. Yeah. Understand the situation you're in, and if this officer that comes in, you can tell is being arrogant. He has a chip on his. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Because your point is to be able to get home.
Yes, to live another day,
and we can deal with it later with a lawyer.
Yeah, right. And one thing I also want to point out and teach our children too, is a teaching moment, is that teach our children that officers are human too. So give the grace for maybe he's having a bad day. Like, let's teach them to also remember, they might not see it, but remind you that they're humans behind that badge that could be in a different state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a twofold, right?
Yep.
We teaching the officers one thing, but we also teach our kids how to interact with them. The one thing, even myself, when I got pulled over recently, yesterday, was that the officer he had no fear. Because I've been, sad to say, I've been getting pulled over for a while now. So I know what it takes.
Yeah.
Instantaneously turn the car off, the engine gets turned up, the hazards get turned on, the lights on top of the car, my hands are tended to, and I'm not moving. All my hands out the window. What am I doing? I'm taking away any kind of fear this officer can have, because if I can keep him calm and keep him without no fear, there's less chance of him harming me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because of what? His fear factors.
Yes.
I'm not saying he's scary because I don't know the cop at all, but at the same time, I want to disarm that from that cop, because I don't want to cause you to reach for nothing. I want to get home. And that's our main job, is to get you behind home. So for everyone out there, if you ever have to interact with any law official that might seem to be crooked, your only job is to get home. Yes, sir, and no, ma'am, that person to their blue in the face just to get away from them. It ain't about you holding your pride, standing 10 toes down, standing on business, as these kids love to say. It's about making it back to your safe haven safely so your family and yourself can fight to live another day.
Yeah, and now the phones that we have in our hand are capable to start recording once you tell your phone that whether it's Siri or it's hey Google, you tell it that you've been pulled over, your phone automatically starts recording. Yeah. So you say you've been pulled over, you tell your phone you've been pulled over, let it start recording, you follow your process, do what you got to do. The only people that do not put down all of their windows are the people that are hiding something. Yeah. And that's exactly how they see it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how they see it. If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to fear. If the cop came to you and you're going to be arrested, let your phone record. Let yourself get arrested. Because you know what? If they wrongfully arrested you,
you're going to come out on top.
That lawsuit is going to be big.
Yeah, you have a better chance of fighting in the right way. And that's what it's all about. Getting home, y'all. Getting home safely. So
that doesn't make you a cuck. No. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you a bitch.
Right. It just
makes
you home. It gets you home.
It gets you home.
Right.
It gives you the advantage to know that you'll get home.
Right. You can see tomorrow. That's all it's about.
Don't let your ego get in front, because ego and humility cannot coexist.
Yo, we about to put on a t-shirt. That's your line. That's it. Now, we about to get into some meat and potatoes now. We coming down to the
meat and potatoes.
Yeah, we about to get to it now. So one thing I learned this week, bro, is if our children are pissing us off in a consistent manner in any way, it's time for us to lead better. When I say that, I have an example. So my wife and I, our kids, they love their different devices and all those things. So we give them about an hour or two a day on the laptop and the television and all that. So this one day, my daughter was on her computer, and I realized the time had elapsed, and I realized it's on a timer, so it's only a matter of moments before it goes off. And I know that she's going to either ask me, could I stay on a little while longer, or do I have to turn it off? So I'm already preparing to tell her, baby girl, just close it. So time comes, and it's time for her to close the computer up, and her mother says, put it away. You know what I'm saying? Simply just put it away. So I didn't pay no attention to what I was doing in the other room. And when I came back to my room and it was time for me to go to bed, the computer was on my bed in my excuse me, in my place to sleep on the bed. So I'm like, I heard her tell her to put this where this belongs. Mm-hmm. Why is it on the bed? So I waited till the next morning and I asked, Imani, didn't your mother tell you to put the computer away? Put it where it belongs? Those words specifically. She said, yes. So I was like, why did you leave it on daddy's side of the bed? Is that where it belongs? No. Where does it belong? I don't know. And it hit me. There isn't a designed place for that. So I'm telling her to put something where it belongs, but I haven't designed a place where it belongs. So here I am telling my kids to clean up and make the house look better and put things back to where they belong. But there aren't any labels. I've never said this is where this goes. So how would they know? I began to realize how much of my aggravation is really my fault when it comes to my kids. How much of my aggravation about them not doing what they're supposed to do is really my fault. Because I didn't lay that foundation of this is where this goes, this is where this goes. For instance, I'm going to go there. This week, my wife lost the keys. Now, the truth of the matter is, he's over there like, nah. It's not a good, am I the only one? I'm not going to do that this week. I'm not going to do that, am I the only one? But this week, the keys got lost. She lost the keys this week. And I was so frustrated about it. But the truth of the matter is, where do the keys actually belong? Is there a design specific place for them? Is there some place that I've, as the leader of this family, said, this is where this goes? And if it's not no one else's fault that we can't find things and they're not in the right place, because it falls on me. So now I'm saying to myself, what other spaces of my life where they're really pissing me off that it's simply because I'm not being a good leader at?
Should have not brought up the keys.
I love you, but I was ready to kill you this week, girl. Like, whoo!
I told them not to talk about it.
Man, listen.
But getting back to the leading part and the kids. Now, I see where you're going with that, and we have a tendency of believing that because something was somewhere and it's been there for a while, that's where it belongs.
That's where, right.
and
by default,
right. And we tend to push that upon them. Well, you saw it this whole time. That's where it was, so that's where it belongs.
Right.
When in reality, no design place was actually created.
Never specified,
for it.
Right.
Now, as I am going to mention the keys. As per the keys, we have hangers by my door. So there is a specific place for the keys.
Yeah.
But
transition.
Yeah, I see how that can extremely confuse, especially your children, because they're really small, right?
Yeah.
Mine are older, so it's freaking find a place for it.
But you say find a place, so when you go looking for it,
it's yours. It's your room.
So you're not gonna be looking for it.
I ain't gonna be looking for shit in your room.
All right.
I might get lost.
Fact.
It's your room. Find a place for it.
Right.
That's not in the middle of the room.
Right. On the floor. Right. Any place but the middle of the floor.
There's no reason why you have 5 cups on your computer desk.
Right.
That belongs in the kitchen.
Right. You sound you venting right now. You counted 5 cups in Junior's room today?
Always. Them shits be moldy sometimes, bro.
Yo, shout out to my nephew, man. Shout out to my nephew.
You put it right on the side of his bed and we won't... Where's this cup? And we're looking for the cup. It's on the side of his bed. It's been there probably for a week.
Yo, shout out to the teenage boys, man. Shout out to the nasty little
sometimes
things.
It's not about that. We need to learn how to lead better. It's all in stages, right? Yeah. And you know what? It could fall on that, right? Yeah. Because if we didn't accordingly lead
right
when they were younger,
yeah,
then their mind is gonna be all over the place. But also understanding that we don't all know how to lead when you first have kids.
Very good point.
So
Very good point.
Like I had mentioned in one of our past episodes that I had told Celine, I've only been a father for as long as you've been a daughter.
Yeah.
So we've been learning together.
Facts. On the job.
I've only been a father to a son for as long as Junior has been. So we're learning together. Right. And within that time, I've developed this relationship with my God, with our God, that I've been able to lead through his scriptures, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that when they were born, when they were 2 and 3,
nah, you wasn't on that.
That I had that type of thought, that type of mentality, right? I had to grow to this point.
Right.
So at that time, telling them to just put it away
was the way.
Right. Right. We thought we were doing that correctly. Then you come to now and you say, shit, you're right. I should have built some sort of structure. We just freeballed it this whole time.
Right.
And now we're paying the consequences.
Facts.
So, at this point is more of let's have a conversation, because now they're too old for you to be. I'm not gonna say not mandating, but they're old enough for you to be able to sit them down and say, "Hey, guys, what's going on?"
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta do better.
Absolutely,
we have to do better.
And that's something that I'm very meticulous about. When there's something that we need to be better as a whole group about, that's all of us together. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna address you. No. Everybody come sit down. Let's talk about this now. And like, that's why I was so impressed with my family about the whole 75 hard thing, because it wasn't just something I was spewing at them. They ingested and heard me.
Yeah.
Right. And it resonated to them to where it became something they actually transpired and manifested. So it's like, as long as I'm not just preaching at you and I'm not speaking at you and I'm actually showing you while I'm being an example, that's where I'm like, all right, my leadership has to be improving in my daily activities. So it's not just, oh, it goes there. Well, daddy puts it here. I saw dad put it there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not where I'm demanding something from you there that you're not seeing me do. Well, no. He's saying that because he's done that. That's where he's putting it at. Yeah. And this is where it's designed to be placed at.
Leading by example.
Right. And that's where I've learned myself is that the more I want out of them is the more I'm going to have to give out of myself to them for them to see this is what life is truly about. And this is what dad desires for us to be better. Right? Because it's not only dad's desires for dad. I'm showing them too, like, your tomorrow will be better if you do this today. That's why my whole big thing with my son and my daughters now is, your today is going to make your tomorrow.
Yeah.
Your today, whatever you do today will make your tomorrow. And now my daughter's brain is starting to catch it a little bit more because her working out, it was funny this morning. She goes, Daddy, my muscles not here yet. I can't see them. I say, what you mean, baby girl? She said, they hurt, but I don't see them yet. I said, baby girl, it's the process, right? Right now, it's not about you wanting to see your muscle. It's about you falling in love with it. Everyday activity that's going to get you the muscle.
Yep.
So she's like, oh, okay, I still want to see my muscle though. So it's the fun part is I'm teaching her to go after something that she can't see right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like going after a task that's invisible, it's like driving from here to New York.
Yeah.
You can only see the first 200 feet in front of you. You don't see around the 200, you can't see past that. Yeah. But you have faith enough to know that once you get to that 200 mark, the next 200 it's going to do what? It's going to open up in your vision. And that's what I'm teaching her right now with this is that do this every day. Fall in love with this today. And by the time you look up, you'll be like, oh, shoot, I am kind of nice. You know what I mean? I'm kind of righteous with it. That's the long learned lesson. And that's what I wanted to point out to the fathers this week, man. Make sure that you're doing the due diligence of doing your part and leading. So if they're pissing you off in a space, ask yourself, have I done the job of getting the structure in there? Have I placed this in a space where they should know better? Yeah,
and that'll actually open up the door for you to understand. Well, I need to look at this differently.
Yes.
I need to address this differently so that you no longer end up being angry over something that you actually never taught them, or
right.
Yeah,
it's real.
Yeah,
you think about your frustrations, like when you're like, yo, why don't you get this? Like I've said it a million times,
and they look confused.
And then don't it break your heart? Like you're like, why?
It breaks your heart and it pisses you off at the same damn time.
Yes,
because you're like, bro, why are you looking at me like I got a penis hanging off my forehead right now, bro? Like, why?
The penis on the forehead is wild crazy.
Like, if you don't understand, just ask. Just ask. If you don't understand, where is it that I'm supposed to put this?
Yo, you know my brain is visual, right? So instantaneously, like, my brain was like, yo, you just had to
do that again, bro.
I hate you. No Diddy. This is crazy. I can't live with this week. Last week was the Glizzy. Now this. That's crazy.
He let the whole shit hang, bro. What? It was supposed to be metaphoric. He made it visual.
Yo, my brain did that, bro. I told you my brain is very visual, bro. You said that, I was like, that's wild, crazy. He got slung on his forehead. Like
ski.
Yeah, no, Diddy.
Yeah,
my bad, yo. That's what our tangents. We do one every so often. So there it goes. And here goes another tangent. Do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. Please hit them buttons. Yo, man. But the essence of this week's conversation, I definitely wanted to really stress the fact that do a better job leading, right? Bishop T.D. Jakes is one of my mentor's mentor, and I got a chance to sit with him one day and at a conference, after he spoke at a conference, and one of his messages was stress, right? And stress is always based upon a lack in structure. And he used the analogy of a truck and a platform. So he was standing on a stage, and he said that he's a pretty big guy, but the stage is not under stress with him standing on it because it has enough structure to hold him up, and plus a few more weight. But if there was a big tractor trailer came in and put on that structure, it would then be under stress and didn't buckle and all those things because it wasn't designed for that kind of weight.
Yeah.
What he mentioned was whenever you find yourself in life and you're stressed out, it's because there's a lack of structure. Mm. So he said, whenever you find yourself stressed out in a relationship, situation at work, business, anywhere in your life that you find that there's consistent stress that seems to be wearing down on you, you have to build a structure around it. You got to build some sort of structure. And that's been lingering in my mind. And then, like I said, to the point of the computer, it kind of like showed me where I was lacking at. Like, she doesn't know where that goes because you haven't designed a specific place for that. And the truth of the matter is there isn't a space in there. Like, we haven't just sat and said, this is where anything goes. So how would they know? So the frustration is not only in me, but it's in my kids. It's like, yo, you telling me to do something, but you haven't taught me. You know what I'm saying? And I know firsthand what that feels like to somebody to tell you to go do something without giving you instruction or how to do it. So it's like I'm damning my children to fail and me be aggravated only because I haven't created the structure. So now it's simply, okay, it's time to put the computer away. The computer where it does belong goes under the television now. Why? Because this is where it specifically goes. Daddy not only said it and showed it, but it's now labeled computer. So now, baby girl, if the computer's on my daddy, where does the computer belong? Why is it not where it belongs? It's a whole different conversation. And now I can lead based upon, I know I taught you. Yeah. I've given you the tools to not only do well, but thrive. Like, it's labeled now. It specifically says this is where it belongs. So there's no more gray area. There is no more of you questioning what daddy's in meaning and you making your own interpretation about it. It's simply, okay, now I know where this belongs.
Yeah. But so how do we address it when it's a teenager, which you've already taught where things belong, and just because they're in their teenage years, they want to push your buttons. They want to see how much they could get away with. Right? Because that we're all gonna be there. One day, right?
No, and I love the fact that I get a chance to see it in real time with you. Like, you might be like in the middle of fire, and I'll be like, you might hear me laughing or just sitting in the middle of it, just absorbing.
I
know you do.
Bro.
I know, but
because I'm about to hang one of these little ninjas.
And then when I be laughing,
I hear a giggle.
I be trying to like save them. I be like on the law. I be like, yo, shut up. He's about to kill you. He's about to. Ha ha. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the uncle in me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to save him. But when I realize and I watch you and I watch them test you, even just now before I was eating dinner, everything, the last word that they have to have and all this, and the fact that you piece it out. And I'm like, okay, note to me that I can't always have the last word. They're going to test me in this way when they get this space. I have to let them breathe and not unalive them.
Is that we have a war.
Yeah. You got some battles you're going to lose.
We have a war. And there's going to be many battles that are to be lost.
Yes. And intentionally to be
lost. Able to win that war.
Correct. That's metaphoric, fellas. Understand it, because trust me, it's a war we battling, and the older they get, the more the actual war is important, and the battles are not as intense. And you pick and choose the right ones that's going to benefit their future. So fight wisely, fathers. Fight wisely.
And we have to put ourselves in their shoes sometimes.
So good.
Remember that we were once their age. Understand what it is that they're going through.
Yes.
And what we felt when we were their age, and our parents reacted in that savage manner. Right? Because where the time that we grew up, it was savagely.
Yes, complete savagery. And one thing my mentor caught me out, and this 2 weeks ago, and it really like, he pointed me out so much so that I had to talk to my therapist about this. He said, I was on the phone and my son was doing something. I kept saying, be careful to him, right? I kept saying, Joe, be careful before you hurt yourself. And he heard me say it more than one time, and it registered to him. And he said, can I say you something without you getting offended? And I was like, you asked me if I care about being offended? You don't never care about being offended. Like, why you care now? He said, because I'm going to tell you something about your fathering. And it got serious. You know how you feel when somebody's talking to you about being a father. Like, you know that feeling is. So
it has to be somebody special to tell you something for you to be able to just let it
and take it. And he said, you're parenting out of fear. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, yo, I've heard you mention to your child more than 10 times in the last 15 minutes, be careful. You're scared of them feeling the pain that's going to take them to the next level.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Because we want the best for them. Like, and we know the best for them is not, we don't want to see them in pain. But we don't realize the best for them.
Why you running? Why you doing this? You gonna fall. You gonna break your face.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Bro, look, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You're absolutely fucking right.
Bro, I had to go talk to my therapist, bro. And when he said it to me, I was like, okay, big fella, thank you so much. I'm kind of offended because I'm like, yo, you're in my shit, right? You're in my business. You ain't supposed to be in my business like that. But I love you because you put your feelings aside to tell me, and you knew it was a hard conversation. So I do appreciate that, but I need to go digest this. Because now what you're saying to me is scaring me now. Because like, how much have I feared? Have I not let them learn because I'm scared? So now I'm my therapist. And I'm like, yo, T, what do I do to stop parenting out of fear?
Wow.
Her words to me was even more mind blowing. Do it anyway. Be scared and do it. Let them hurt themselves.
Facts.
You learned.
Facts.
And what you have to do, you got to build in a mechanism for you to cope with their pain. So when they hurt, you're going to have to be okay with them hurting, but you have to cope with their pain and be able to still parent through it. So this week, that was heavy for me. So I wanted to leave that out there. I wasn't even going to put that on the podcast, but that's something I'm dealing with right now. And I've learned that people don't like to hear things while you're going through them. They always want to hear it when you're succeeded out of it.
My brain is going all over the place right now. Like, seriously, bro. Yeah. Like, seriously, like, I'm thinking to myself, that means I'm going to have to shut the fuck up from now on. Not completely shut the fuck up.
There's certain times.
But the approach has to be completely different. Yeah. Instead of you, stop running, you're gonna bust your ass. Stop running, stop doing... It's more of a, come here, let me talk to you real quick. Let me tell you something. If you run through that road right there, you're going to fall and break your face. I'm not going to mention anything else. Just understand that that's going to be the consequence.
That's the warning. Handle your business. Live life. Make a decision. Make your decision.
Make your decision.
And we're teaching them now through that.
Shit, bro.
Make your decision. Yeah, this is why we did.
Yo, this man just dropped a pebble that turned into a fucking boulder while it rolled down. Like,
shout out to my mentor, man. Shout out to Corey, bro. Shout out to him.
This is a gem.
Yeah.
This is a gem.
No bullshit.
This is a gem.
It changed how I look at parenting, bro.
You guys out there, if you guys believe that this is a gem, let me see it in the comments.
Yeah.
We need to see it in the comments.
Yeah, put that
because
down.
you know what? I believe that this conversation right here, this piece right here, is life-changing for a lot of people. Yeah. Because you can see it in a different aspect. Mm-hmm. Once I heard you say that, it was like a explosion in my brain. Yeah. Like, holy shit. Yeah. You know what? You're absolutely fucking right.
Yeah, bro.
You're absolutely fucking right. We've been parenting out of fear. Yeah. Because every time we prohibit them from doing something is because we're afraid they're either going to get hurt, whether it's physical or emotional.
Yes. And we're more so scared of the emotional one than the physical.
And at the end, and the reality is that it's not our job to stop them from being hurt.
No.
Our job is to educate them accordingly so that they make the right decisions, because regardless, sooner or later, they're gonna be hurt.
Yeah. They have to.
To be able to evolve, to be able to become better, you have to.
Yeah. Pain is a part of the process.
Failure is a part of the process.
If you think about anything that we've ever done, right? Anything, any process, any growing process. When you was growing up, even your kids right now, Daddy, my knees hurt, my thighs hurt. What do we say to them? It's growing pains.
Yep, it's growing pains.
Everything that grows.
Fell off a bike, it's growing pains.
Even under a microscope, if you're watching the things under a microscope, it's a violent stretch, right? It's a violent pull apart when things are growing. But there's pain involved with growing. And at the end of the day, the healing process brings upon the growth. So it's not about the pain that we're feeling. It's about the healing process of that pain that teaches the lesson. So how could we get the lesson part if we're so scared about them receiving the pain? Because pain changes things. Right?
Big facts.
We don't learn without pain. You touch the stove, if that motherfucker wasn't hot, you keep touching it.
Big facts. Guys, I'm going to tell you one thing. And I want you guys to understand that in life, when you believe that you know everything, you're bound to fail, and not because you're bound to fail because you believe you know everything. Mm-hmm. If I were to be that type of person, this would not be a learning moment for me. I would not accept this as a learning moment.
Good point. Good point. Because I could have been bucked back too when he told me I was parenting out of fear. I'd be like, yo, mind your business. See who you talking to. Don't mind your, don't get my business between me and my kid. I could have took that route. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I could have been doing that.
And we're not born perfect. We're learning every day.
You know what I mean? What
we're learning every day.
Imperfect.
And as much experience as you would have in life.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away from you understanding that you've just learned something that you've never thought about.
Yo, listen, I'm intrigued to learn something new every single day.
I wish.
Not just about anything outside, but about me, bro. Like when I tell you, when he said the fear part, it's something I already knew already because I learned that I was never tough growing up. Believe it or not. I did everything in my life out of fear. I would bark before somebody barked just so I wouldn't have to deal with you barking at me.
Yeah.
I would hit first so I wouldn't be hit. I would do things to make you think that I'm a certain kind of way just so you wouldn't move the covers and find out how really scared I was. Because there was nobody teaching me about me inside.
The reality is that the toughest men become tough out of fear.
Yeah. Nobody's born tough.
Nobody's
born tough, right? Facts. But see, my thought process, I thought to myself, I did that because I was gangster. You know what I'm saying? Man. I did that because I ain't to be messed with. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a documentary on one of the most dangerous men of Brazil. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that he was never really tough. He was never a gangster. But he didn't want to get picked on. So he was afraid to get picked on. So that made him become the person he was.
Yeah.
Which evolved him into being the most dangerous man in Brazil.
Because what fear does, it drives you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. It drives you to do things to protect. And another point that my mentor always pointed out to me, because his therapist taught him this, was that when you're young, you grow up in this young mindset. And then you have it's three people. It's the baby, the adolescents, and then the adult. The baby has trauma that it couldn't defend itself from. Then the adolescent's like, yo, I'm here to defend you, and nobody's going to ever do you wrong again. Now he's here to protect you. But the adult comes, and now the adolescent is still trying to defend and is walking around with this big chip on his shoulder because you hurt my little man, so now I'm not going to let nobody do it to you again. So now you have a fight between the adolescent and the adult, because the adult is like, yo, I have this other calm side of myself that I'm looking to become, but this other side is like, no, I'm not going to let nobody hurt you. I'm not going to let nobody do this to me again. And that's a consistent defensive mechanism that only operates out of fear of not wanting to be hurt again. So understanding that the three phases, the adolescent has to be slowed down and calmed down and reminded, you've done your job. You've protected that little boy. He's protected now. Now it's time for you to relax and grow into the next stage of manhood. Bro, that took me and brought me into my new state of mindset, because I was in such a defensive mode my entire life, because it's like there was nobody for me to run home to. I'm going to go get, you did something to me, I'm going to go get mine. There's nobody for me to go get. So now all my fears are mine. I can't tell my cousin, my big brother, I'm the big brother. There's nobody to go tell I'm scared to go to school tomorrow because they're going to jump on me.
Yeah.
I got to go to school and deal with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all the things that I operated out of fear, and because I'm not going to react because I'm scared, became a natural habit. So now I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'm tough.
Yeah.
But in no actuality, I'm the scariest person walking the earth. Yeah, scared of my own shadow.
I have a nephew who walks in that state.
Yeah.
And I love him to death because this kid has the heart of gold.
Yeah, it be the ones with the beautiful heart that's tainted by the
gold, and loves his family, loves his kids. But I don't understand that anger that he carries within him, where he feels that he needs to be defensive with everybody.
Yeah.
Even the people that love him that aren't gonna hurt him.
Yeah. It's a understanding that everybody's not out to hurt you, that he has to give somebody a chance. One thing I've learned is that when you've allowed someone to hurt you the first time, it's almost impossible until you've healed to let somebody have another chance to do it again. It's not about getting hurt again. Mm-hmm. It's about giving the people a chance to hurt you again.
Yeah.
No one, like, if you don't go through the healing process, you'll never be willing to do that again.
Yeah.
Because the fear of feeling, and that's what us men have a problem with. It's never the fear of the thing, it's the feeling we don't want to feel.
Yeah.
We have a fear of feeling. So we'd rather not feel the feeling
because we believe that it makes us weak.
Yes, because it breaks all the macho and facades down.
When in reality, all it does is it maintains us afraid.
Bro,
it actually, fighting against the feeling is weakening.
Yes, it is.
Fighting against the feeling part is weakening.
Yes.
Because once you feel, you're strong in a different way that you could never understand.
And you wouldn't understand it if you didn't feel it.
Because you, at that point, you know that there's nothing that can test you.
Right.
There's nothing that can hurt you. Right? Because you know up to what point and who you can give yourself to. Right?
Right.
I'll say. So, truthfully, nothing can really hurt you at that point because you allow yourself to be loved by God, and the only love that you actually seek for. So you no longer looking for the protection within yourself.
Right.
The protection that you're seeking is from a higher being, a stronger being, a more almighty being.
Right.
It's no longer of, well, I need to look out for myself, because now you have the Almighty looking out for you.
Correct.
So at that point, you allow yourself to be loved. At that point, you allow yourself to love. Mm-hmm. At that point, you allow yourself to feel and become more human.
Yeah. And not operate out of fear. And that's the one thing that if we can start self-reflecting and realizing, what am I doing this for? Like, what causes me to do this? Am I doing this out of love, or am I doing this out of fear?
Yeah.
Am I doing this out of precaution based upon what I know to be, or am I operating out of fear of what I think might happen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's been the real telltale factor for me recently, is like, okay, I do that because I was scared of this. This is not what I'm operating out of. I'm operating out of love now. Let me do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's more so, all right. And everything he pointed out to me about parenting out of fear is so much different. I slap myself on the wrist when it's down to telling JoJo, be careful. No, be you. Be you. Go forth. Whatever happens in that, I'm here to guide you. I'm here to make sure that nothing goes too wrong.
Yeah.
But you have to learn. And I can't stifle your learning because of fear. I can't stifle your growth and development because I'm scared of what's going to happen to you in the process. I have to have the same faith in the God that I believe in, that's gotten me here to take me this far, that he's going to do the same thing for you. And I got to understand that he didn't give you to me for me to shelter you and coddle you from everything.
Yeah.
He gave you to me for me to bring you up under the righteousness and the leadership of God that I know to be, and to let you be the man that you're supposed to be. So now, like, it's crazy because more so I'll be like, even though I was operating the fear, I'll be seeing him do stuff. I'll be like, don't look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be wanting to tell him, don't do that. Like, I can't say don't do it. You can't, But it's the love, though. It's love because, like, you don't want to see your child hurt. You don't want to see them go through things, but understanding that that's where they get their development from. That's where their next stages of their development in life is. It abides in them doing those things that give us the gray hairs and the fear.
The gray hairs. I'm looking like Santa Claus out here, boy.
Listen, man, the more we love on them, and the more we care for them, the more they
gray
grow.
hairs.
Facts.
Yep. The more gray hairs.
And that's how we gonna end it today, man.
This is a testimony of love and knowledge.
Yes. Yo, it's so crazy
love
because
and knowledge.
If you go back, even like when you had a chance, when you doing the edits and all, like, go back to the channel, right? And just go back to some of the videos and look at my face. I didn't have not one gray hair 2 years ago. Now it's like, yo, my kids have gotten to a certain age and like...
Oh, and this is just the beginning, my brother.
As I can see.
This is just the beginning.
I'm headed towards you. I'm headed towards Greytown, baby.
Next thing you know, we're going to be doing episodes. We're both going to be...
Silver foxes.
It's not salt and pepper no more.
Straight silver. Straight silver. No black in the beard. You know what I mean? We're gonna be straight dying to get the little strands of black out of our beard. You know what I'm saying? Early, man. Early. But yo, man, this has been a dope conversation, bro. And like that's something I wanted to let ring out to the parents out there. Please do your best not to parent out of fear. Right? Do your due diligence to allow your children to have that grace and space to grow and develop into the children that God sees them to be. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to stifle our children and we don't want to hold them back from being the version that they need to be for not just our well-being, but for the sake of their lives coming up and the generations behind them, man. So do your best not to parent out of fear.
Yes.
What you got,
what
man?
He said.
What he said, man.
Nah, man. Like we were mentioning earlier, allow yourselves to learn every day. We can learn so much from our children.
Yes.
If we allow ourselves to learn from them and not believe that we can't learn from them because they're kids. We that's basically what I got.
It's all good. It's all good. And to that point too is like, shout out to my mom because she taught me that young when she was like, yo, I don't know it all. And there's some things you're gonna help me learn. You know what I'm saying? And when you said that you've only been a father as long as your children have been children, it's real. And parents understand that you've only been a parent as long as your child has been a child in your life. You didn't grow up as much as they want us to believe that we've been adults our entire lives. At some point in time, we were in their shoes. So go back, like Jose said, go back to those thought processes of when you were in your teenage stage, your first time finding out about yourself and all those hormonal changes. Go back to this. I know it may be difficult, but reflect and think about those times because that will draw you closer to your children because then you can be able to relate to them and not only relate, but show them the relation of how you felt when you was that age and stage of their life and also show them how you overcame it and where you went and how you went to go through those things, man.
Yeah, there's one thing that I've tried to do and remember when you were a child that you would say, when I get older, I'll never do that to my kids. And then you get older.
You're doing the
and you end up doing
thing.
It, right? I had a conversation, we spoke about this before. I had a conversation with my kids where I said, I asked them, what if you guys had anything that you would change of how I've been a parent, what would it be? Still to this day, I'm waiting on the answer, right? But the point is,
right.
The point is that that's a conversation we must have,
yes.
So that we understand where it is that they're at and how they see us.
Correct.
So that we can then be who they need us to be as their leaders.
Absolutely.
And guides.
So, good people, as always, do us that favor, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button because it truly does help us. It keeps us pushing and it helps us move forward in the digital space, man, and it really helps us with that digital currency, as I just said. So, as always, please share this content with somebody out there. If you like them, you love them, or you hate them, still share the content with them. You never know what it can do for them. And as you've seen in real time, we're learning from each other, and we pray we're doing the same thing for you in real time. So with that being said, as always, fellas, remember, to the world, you're just a dad. You mean nothing. But to your family, you are their world. Don't let that go over your head. But until the next time we see you guys in these podcast streets, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the people around you, that's all right. Don't trip. Just get those people from around you. Yo, this is your boy, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and
your boy, JP, the Imperfect Husband.
And this has been another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because we will. Peace.